What is going on, my fellow Schwoke Lords? What is up? Welcome to another episode of Cancel Schweezy. Cancel Schweezy is the podcast I do instead of going to therapy. Welcome to the show today. We got a good one for you. I'm not sure yet because I haven't talked through it yet. But anyways, I think it'll be a good show. It's our best episode yet. I always say every episode's the best episode yet. So we can only go up on this show. Well, thank you. For those of you who don't know me or new to the show, I am the Foreplay King, also known as Schweezy. Thank you for checking out the show. I have, first of all, I want to tell you I have music out on all the streaming platforms. Wherever you get your music, go listen to Schweezy, do your part, and check out that music. It's really good. I have stuff planned, stuff in the future, so that's one thing I can always say. But then you can also check me out on all social media platforms. I'm at the Schweezy, except on TikTok. I do post on TikTok. I try to do more. It's just I have to have the ideas for it. With that though, follow me there at the Schweezy or at the Foreplay King if you're on Tinder or Twitch or no, that's not Tinder or Twitch. It's TikTok. I remembered it now. Don't forget about me. I don't know. I got a text from Josh. But anyways, go follow me everywhere there. I also stream video games on Twitch. I do every Thursday and then occasionally on Mondays if there's something I really want to play. Typically, I think I just finished Pokemon Emerald, which was a lot of fun. And it looks like up next I'm going to play a couple weeks of Fortnite and then figure out where I want to go from there. The world is my oyster, and I can do whatever the hell I want. If you do have Twitch, you can always press the follow button. That's free. Get notified when I go live. You can talk to me if you have questions for me there. And then you can also, if you have an Amazon Prime account, connect the two accounts, and you basically can get one free subscription. That's different from a follow. A subscription is typically around $5 a subscription. However, if you have an Amazon Prime account, connect it to that account. You can subscribe to me for free if you're already paying for Amazon Prime. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you have Amazon Prime and are not subscribing to me on Twitch, you are basically giving Jeff Bezos an extra $5 a month, which is not cool. But if you also want to spend another $5, I am on Patreon too. All the shows here from what's soon building the Schweezy podcast universe, and I do have $5 to get ad-free episodes of those. So exciting thing to go check out. But nevertheless, just like this video or podcast, wherever you're getting to, leave a review. However you like to do, just leave a review. Those really do help. They don't even have to be good reviews. I'm going to be honest with you. Any review is good if you just want to, even if you just want to be a dick to me, which is fine. I don't really care, but yeah, would leave a review, leave a rating, subscribe wherever you're getting your podcast, and especially on YouTube. Even if you don't listen to the show or watch the show on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube as well. It really helps with the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Dead ass. All right, I think that's all I have to say here. Let's get into Previous Week Right Now. Previous Week Right Now is a new segment by me because John Oliver walked so I could run. So here's what we do. I do what most millennials do on the internet these days. Josh Tech. Oh, never mind. It's nothing. I do what most millennials do these days. I look at the article and read it and assume that's the whole story. But I don't read it, and I save it to read while I'm recording this right now. So let's begin. John Oliver walks so I could run. It's not last week tonight. It's previous week right now. So let's get going into the news. This one's from ABC News. Some Alaska Costco shoppers say ravens steal their groceries. This is from ABC News. That's how they're spending their time. Some Alaska Costco shoppers said they've had their groceries stolen by ravens in the store parking lot. Matt Llewellyn said he was packing his groceries into his car in the parking lot of Anchorage Costco when ravens swooped in to steal a short rib from his cart. The Anchorage Daily News report Friday, it literally took 10 steps away, turned around, two ravens came down and instantly grabbed one of the package, ripped it off, and flew off with it, Llewellyn said. Llewellyn said the piece of meat about 4 by 7 inches, 10 by 18 centimeters, for those of you who don't know freedom units, large, a sizable meal for a sizable bird. They know what they're doing. It's not their first time, Llewellyn said. They're very fast. So I think they've got a whole system here. And once he got back home, he noticed that one of the ravens had taken a poke at another rib, but did not rob it. I cut the meat out and started marinating it. And my wife said, "That's gross. We should take it back." Llewellyn said Costco actually took it back even after we had started marinating them and gave us a full refund. Good on Costco. Additional raven thief sightings have emerged on social media. My parents were minding their business after a shop and made it home with one less steak. Kimberly Waller wrote on Facebook, "The bird snatched it right out of the pack in the parking lot." Anchorage resident, Tamara Josie, replied to Waller's post and referred to the ravens as calculating. She said ravens hovered her in an attempt to steal her groceries. "I had two ravens, one that was on the car next to me, and he kept squawking really loud." Josie said he would sit on the car and stare at me and then hop next to the bed of the truck on the other side, and he kept going back and forth. The other raven was on the ground. He kept trying to pull. I had those mini melons you have in the mesh bag. He kept trying to grab the nesting and pulling the melons off the cart. A raven started to fly in a circle around Josie until she got them to scram. He was waiting for another opportunity to grab the melons off the cart, but they never were deterred. She said they just stayed posted, waiting for their next opportunity to steal something out of the cart. They are very dedicated to their mission, she added. Jesus Christ, how long is this fucking article? A manager at an Anchorage Costco declined to comment to the newspaper about the raven thieves. The Anchorage Audubon Society tallies the raven population every December. The group reported 923 common ravens in 2018, 621 in 2019, and 750 birds in 2020. Rick Sinnott, a former wildlife biologist with the State Department of Fish and Game, said hundreds of ravens fly to Anchorage in the winter for food. After winter turns to spring, most of the ravens leave, Sinnott said, but before they do, the ravens stick around to pluck assorted meats, fruits, and vegetables. For years, decades, they've watched people in parking lots of grocery stores with all this food, Sinnott said. They know what a piece of fruit looks like in a grocery cart because they've seen it on the ground or seen it in a garbage can. So, why am I getting... I don't know. I get some random ass emails from like news sites. I don't know. I need to unsubscribe. So we got some thoughts here on this here article. I know. I think crows are very smart animals, from what I think I've heard from somewhere. If they're not smart animals, remember. I'm not a scientist. And also, in the meantime, if you're trying to like learn about social justice from the show, you might be the R word, which is Republican. For those of you who don't know, when I say you're an R word on this show, I mean Republican. Republican is the new R word. So I like to imagine that there was an actual guy training these crows to bring food from Costco to him, and he like feeds them and shit like that. That's the world I want to live in, and it's also in Alaska. And to be honest, I don't know a lot about Alaska. Yeah, it's like Alaska and Hawaii. It's like Hawaii would be like fun to visit, but I feel like living there, you feel like trapped or something like that. It feels weird to me. I don't know. Anyways, so we're all gonna pretend that some crazy guy is training ravens to steal food from people at Costco. So this is the world I'm gonna live in, and that's the world we're gonna decide to have. Next article I have. Data suggests QAnon followers more likely to be mentally ill. This is from the Civil Beat. Have you heard of the Civil Beat? I didn't until I found this article. So are they a good news source? I don't know. QAnon is often viewed as a group associated with conspiracy terrorism and radical actions, such as the January 6th Capitol insurrection, but radical extremists and terror may not be the real concern from this group. QAnon followers, who may number in the millions, appear to believe a baseless and debunked conspiracy theory claiming that a satanic cabal of pedophiles and cannibals control world governments and the media. They also subscribe to... Why am I just fucking stuttering today? They also subscribe to many other outlandish and improbable ideas, such as the Earth is flat, that the coronavirus is a biological weapon used to gain control over the world's population, that Bill Gates is somehow trying to use coronavirus vaccination to implant microchips into people, and more. A social psychologist I normally study as a, oh, this is now we're in first person. As a social psychologist, I normally study terrorism during research for pastels and pedophiles inside the mind of QAnon, a forthcoming book I co-authored with security scholar Mia Bloom. I noticed that QAnon followers are different from the radicals I usually study in one key way. They are far more likely to have serious mental illnesses. Research has long revealed connections between psychological problems and beliefs in conspiracy theories. For example, anxiety increases conspiratorial thinking, as do social isolation and loneliness. Depressed, narcissistic, and emotionally detached people are also prone to have a conspiratorial mindset. Likewise, people who exhibit odd, eccentric, suspicious, and paranoid behaviors and who are manipulative, irresponsible, and low on empathy are more likely to believe in conspiracy theories. QAnon rise has coincided with an unfolding mental health crisis in the United States. Even before COVID-19 pandemic, the number of diagnoses of mental illness was growing, with 1.5 million more people diagnosed in 2019 than in 2018. The isolation of lockdowns, compounds by the anxiety related to COVID and the economic uncertainty, made a bad situation worse. Self-reported anxiety and depression quadrupled during the quarantine and now affects as much as 40% of the U.S. population. It's possible that people who embrace QAnon's ideas may be inadvertently or indirectly expressing deeper psychological problems. This could be similar to when people exhibit self-harming behavior or psychosomatic complaints that are in fact signals of serious psychological issues. It could be that QAnon is less of a problem of terrorism and extremism than it is one of poor mental health. Only a few dozen QAnon followers are accused of having done anything illegal or violent, which means that for millions of QAnon believers, the radicalization may be of their opinions, but not their actions. In my view, the solution to this aspect of the QAnon problem is to address the mental health needs of all Americans, including those whose problems manifest as QAnon beliefs. Many of them, and many others, are not QAnon followers, could clearly benefit from counseling and therapy. Now, to quote one of the greatest comedies of all time, Napoleon Dynamite, from Uncle Rico, after Napoleon tried out his time machine and got his nuts electrocuted, and he says, "This piece of junk doesn't work." And then Uncle Rico comes in, and I want to quote this for this. I could have told you that. Yeah, I don't know if like any scientist had to believe that. I'm like, you believe the government is trying to microchip you so they can like track your whereabouts and everything? First of all, how important do you think you are that the government is following you? Like, I can't imagine being I don't know why some people are stalkers, because they're probably like severely more mentally ill than I am. Basically, because like this idea of stalking someone, like, oh, you're watching me all the time. Okay, you want to watch me scratch my nuts and watch TV? Is that what you're into? Just watching me scratch my nuts and watching TV? And also, if you like stalk a woman, it's like, what do you think's gonna happen? Like, you know what? I like your persistence. Come on in. No, man. And no, I was on the microchip shit. The government can already track you because you post your whole fucking life on Facebook. That's pretty fucking easy for the government to do. Most of these people are like, I don't want the government tracking where I am all the time, and that's why I'm posting this on Facebook. Here's my house location if y'all want to know that. Oh, cool. I'm at, what's the place next? I'm at the Country Music Hall of Fame. I'm going to take a picture right now and post it immediately to Instagram, tagging the Country Music Hall of Fame. And then, why is the government's tracking me? Y'all, okay, let's get out of Tennessee locals. Y'all are R-words, Republicans. I don't know. QAnon, that's what I mean if y'all don't know. That's the joke. QAnon is what I call it. If you actually, I don't know, like anti-vaxxers are just fucking dumbasses. And I have a friend who's an anti-vaxxer, and I tell her she's dumb every time she brings it up. I'm telling her she's stupid every time. And I'm just like, look, we can still be friends, but I'm going to call you an idiot every time you bring this up because you're fucking stupid. So... And I have a bachelor's degree, so I'm a little bit smarter than her. No, people fucking get the vaccine. I'm getting mine on Tuesday. I'll talk about it next week. I'm getting the fizzy. So I was thinking about the Dolly. Or the Johns, but I think, well, the fizzy's the one it's closest to me. I know some people were like, I'm going to go out of my way to help you out get the vaccine. I'm like, you don't have to go out of my way. And then I saw like signups. You want to get the vaccine at Music City Center? I'm like, yeah. And so I signed up and they're like, all right, confirmed. See you there. Gonna be near the fizzy. All right. So if you're a QAnon follower, you're a fucking idiot. Anyways, next up on our list, this is actually one I really wanted to talk about. This one's fucking long too. God damn it. Here we go. So here we go. This is a little music-related news. I know people actually like my music opinion for some fucking reason. Lil Nas X's Satan imagery angers parents, but advocates say critics are missing the point. This is from USA Today. I've been told USA Today is not a good source. Am I going to continue to read the article anyways? Of course I am. Let's get going here. Lil Nas X's latest music video and song, Montero, Call Me By Your Name, fully embrace his gay identity, though not everyone is fully embracing the Grammy-winning artist's imagery choice. Social media erupted following the video's premiere Friday, which included sexually explicit, biblical, and satanic imagery. He kills the devil, among other things. Fans celebrated the queerness in the video, but others felt he went too far. Lil Nas X then took it a step further, and he released Satan shoes with streetwear company MSCHF. Nike is now suing MSCHF, but now the singer himself over the trademark infringement. I do think, though, because I don't really have a lot to say on that. I'll just start right now. Why they shouldn't have used the Nike logo if it's not with Nike? I don't know why. Like, you could have just left it clean. I don't know. They put Nike on there to just be like, oh, it's funny. I don't know. But Lil Nas X enamored the world with his hit Old Town Road, but has generated intense backlash with Montero, particularly from parents and religious people. He played into his kid-friendly image following the release of Old Town Road, releasing children's picture books called C is for Country, and joking on Twitter, he was putting his Grammys in the basement to make room for his Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Award trophy. But advocates say his critics are missing the bigger picture. They argued that in the video, Lil Nas X's brave statement for black queerness takes center stage and it could change lives for the better. What Lil Nas X did was so insignificant because not only do queer kids get to say, hey, there's someone who looks like me out there, black queer kids, and specifically black queer boys and young men get to say there's someone who looks like me, explained Alicia T. Crosby, a black queer minister from Durham, North Carolina. People are overlooking that he defeated the devil in the video, and they're too focused on him being a young queer man, she said. Crosby, 34, felt fascinated and excited by the video. I felt hopeful thinking about what his video meant in different ways from different communities. The video comes following a study from GLAAD, I think that's GLAAD with two A's, that the percentage of LGBTQ people of color on TV, a key pillar of media representation, has ticked up across broadcast, cable, and streaming since last year. Religious people are divided on the video. God will have the last word when it comes to Lil Nas X, CJ Pearson, president of the Free Thinker Project, wrote on Twitter, and that is all I have to say about that. Caitlin Joshua of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, says she was offended by his use of Christian imagery. When there are allies like herself in the religious community, she is an organizer for a group that advocates for the LGBTQ community, women's rights, and black people's rights. All right, someone else gonna come in. I don't feel like that we have to go that far to prove a point, Joshua 28 says of the video. And even more so, I feel like he's losing allies as a result of choosing that approach. Not everyone feels that way. There are plenty of Christians who are celebrating what's happening right now, Crosby said. Lil Nas X is hardly the first artist to use religious imagery. Think everyone from Nicki Minaj to Madonna to DMX, but he's unapologetically gay and is challenging the church. I spent my entire teenage years hating myself because of the expletive y'all preach would happen to me because I was gay, he wrote on Twitter. So I hope you are mad, stay mad, feel the same anger you teach us to have towards ourselves. Joshua contends Lil Nas X did take back the narrative from the church and gave them a taste of their own medicine. The video also showed his development as an artist and as a person. I just really like to see queer black creatives expressing themselves and succeeding. Madeline Williams, 22, of Phoenix, says Williams, who is non-binary, was raised Christian and felt stressed when told how they exist and how they are is wrong. It's something that I'm still processing. While the song and video could be beneficial for queer youth seeing themselves represented, some parents are confused by his apparent move away from being a kid-friendly artist. Though in a January interview with NPR about his children's book, Lil Nas X alluded to phrases phases of his art and fandom, saying, "I'm well aware that life and careers and everything goes in chapters." His supporters point out artists should be allowed to evolve. Parents really saw Lil Nas X in a sequin cowboy fit that one time and assumed he was gonna be the Wiggles his whole career. Little Twitter user John DeCimo wrote, "Lil Nas X made the point himself. I am not going to spend my entire career trying to cater to your children," he wrote in response to a critic on Twitter. "That is your job." He also pointed out in another tweet in response to rapper Joyner Lucas that Old Town Road wasn't exactly family friendly in the first place. What the day of release was like, fans praised Lil Nas X Montero music video for being unapologetically queer. For all the outraged parents out there, Lil Nas X's father wasn't one of them. "Very creative video. I got through it," he wrote in a text message that his son shared a Twitter. "Congratulations, live life on your terms. Very proud of you." And Lil Nas X's original statement accompanying Montero Call Me By Your Name, seemingly dedicated to his 14-year-old self, acknowledged the video would make some angry, but that his agenda is to empower people to live authentically. So I just wanted to talk about this. So, like all of you know, and you shouldn't be listening to the show for like my thoughts on Black Lives Matter. I'm very supportive, but I'm also not like an expert or even a black person. I'm just listening, trying to see what I can do better of myself, like, and see what we can do on moving on. But you look at like, so I'm gonna go back to, there's a podcast called Dissect. It's on Spotify. Each season they do like either an artist, like they did a whole season on Frank Ocean, or they do specific albums. I think they've done Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly" and "Damn." They've done Frank Ocean. I think they've recently finished Because the Internet, which I need to get into, which is the best Gambino album. We can discuss that on another time. Because the Internet is the best Childish Gambino album. And then, so, you know, okay. And yeah, then I think they're doing Yeezus now. They did Beyonce's Lemonade. They've done a lot. It's a lot of black artists they honestly do on Dissect. It's really cool if you're really into music. So, but they talk about on the first episode on the Frank Ocean series, I think there's like an interview back in 2005. So I'm going to say it's somewhere between 2003 and 2006. I think this interview happened. It was with Kanye West, and he was talking about how hard it would be to be a gay black man in the music industry. And you go back, I think, man, Ice Cube was in, NWA, and Will Smith like had all these like anti-gay things they said, and like a lot of their songs and stuff like that. So it was like, I don't know, it was just very hard for anyone in the music industry to be gay and black at the same time. It was just very hard. And so, and Kanye pointed that out. Like I'm saying, I'm thinking it's 2005. I could be wrong. Do not take me, but it was a long time ago when that happened. So you get to Frank Ocean, 2012. He releases a letter accompanying his album Channel Orange, saying that that he was in love with a man one summer, and like a lot of songs are about that and shit like that, and like that's his experience. Like Frank's never come out technically as like, I'm gay or I'm like bisexual. I think most people assume he's bisexual, but he'll never talk about that. He's like, that's personal to me. I don't think I want to put a label on my sexuality. So Frank Ocean started, and then that's when a lot of black, like Beyonce, Jay-Z started off and like, yeah, this is really cool. We're really glad that happened. I think Kanye was on board with that as well. Yada, yada, yada. So, like, there's a big history behind being gay and black in the music industry. And then it's like we're slowly moving forward to this idea of it. There's like a history lesson somewhere in here. I'm just kind of like saying what I know in my head as a dumbass to you right now. So yeah. So there's a big history, because I don't know a lot about like, you know, black people, you know, like the black history. I know like the basics, but like black music history, like I could probably talk about that, because we go back, I think I probably mentioned on the show before, we go back to Elvis. Elvis was actually his manager, the Colonel. His idea was, I want to find a white guy, because music was segregated back then in like the 50s, 60s, around there. Music was still segregated. So there was black music and white music. So when we go to that, the Colonel, Elvis's manager, he wanted to find a white guy who could sing like a black guy. And that's why they got Elvis, and they actually performed a lot of black songs. Like I say, Elvis is a good performer, but he didn't write any good songs, because they were all black people songs. So thank black people for rock music, because he started that, then the Beatles come, and then history comes in. So this idea of like him really going out for it is very much a big part of Black music history, coming out like this, and I think it's really cool. I watched the music video. The only problem I had with the music video is he had long acrylic nails, which I just fucking hate long acrylic nails. And if that was my problem with the music video, y'all are overreacting. So, no, it was really, I kind of like it. And you also have to realize Lil Nas X is a funny dude. Like, he's super funny. So he probably wants this reaction out of you, and he's a little goofy at the same time. It's like giving the devil a lap dance and then killing the devil to become the devil himself. Like, that's just goofy shit right there. So, yeah, I don't know. So, if you don't like Lil Nas X, for killing the devil, you're probably gay. No, I don't think you're gay. I think you're just a little jealous of him for doing that shit. I got my like in-ear headphones. Like, I was like trying to like figure that out, and I figured out it was like I was like, why is this one quieter than the other one? And I like dug everything out, and like turns out it was like clogged with earwax, so I had to clean that out before I started recording, and I had to super glue it back together, and I think some got in my ear. But anyways, no, we're gonna move on. So if you're upset with Lil Nas X, this music video, Call Me By Your Name, which is a very good song. I think it's a very artistic way of coming out with this, and I think, you know, we need to accept that. And I think Lil Nas X took a chance, and he's doing it, and now you're talking about it, and I'm talking about it. So yeah, dude, Lil Nas X, keep being you, man. I love you. All right, last article for the evening, for the show, for a previous week right now. We're gonna end it on a little higher note. I think I got a little deep on the last one, but we're going to end it on a high note. Trinity College in Perth bans mullet haircuts, labeling them unacceptable. And what website did you get this from? I'm going to tell you, folks. News.com.as. This is like the legit website. I got it. News.com.as. .as means Australia. But anyways, let's keep going here. An elite private boys' school in Western Australia has banned the mullet hairstyle after deeming the hairdo not acceptable. Trinity College in Perth outlined their ban on the retro haircut in its recent newsletter. It is without reservation that the college set clear requirements that ensure health and safety, as well as setting a high standard for personal presentation. The newsletter states, the current trend of growing the hair at the back of the head and or closely cropping the sides of the head to accentuate the mullet style are untidy, non-conventional, and not acceptable at Trinity College, as is the trend of long hair and fringes. The college expectations on the hairstyles can be found on page 18 of the student diary. That sounds stupid. Students who do not meet the school's grooming standards will be picked up by their parents in order to get a haircut. The school stated that hairstyle should be a conservative nature and cut above the collar, and were not allowed to fall below a student's eyes. Students are not permitted to have mullets, rat tails, top knots, mohawks, extra long fringes, or any non-conventional style cuts. The rule reads, Trinity College is not the first school to ban the business at the front, party in the back style. In February, Waverley College in Sydney forbade the mullet, also labeling the iconic haircut as not acceptable for students. The school's deputy principal, Patrick Brennan, told the Daily Telegraph at the time that the mullet haircut trending at present is not acceptable, and students will be directed to the local barber or their preferred hairstylist to rectify any issue. West Australian Premier Mark McGowan also weighed into the great mullet debate, claiming that while he was personally fond of mullets, rat tails were a step too far. I'm very pro-mullet. It's a unique Australian invention, one which we've been selling into the world, but I'll let the school make their own decision, he told reporters on Tuesday. I'm pro-mullet, and I'm not so pro-rat tail. Rat tails are a bit beyond the pale. This sounds like a school where the principal is closeted gay and gives Arby's gift cards to men to suck them off. So, that's a story from like a year and a half ago of a guy I went to high school with's dad, and he was very homophobic. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we all know I don't agree with this. Like, just let them have fucking their normal hair, dude. One fucking the Hitler with the young Hitler, the Hitler Youth haircut or something like that. Fuck that. I actually want to know here, would my hair? Okay, everyone leave a comment on the video. Would my hair, my specific hair, be unacceptable at this school? Because it's it's 50% like, it's not a conventional style, but it's also very like, I can dress up and keep it like this and it looks really good. So that's like a big thing with this. That's what I want to know is my hair not good enough for this school? That's something I'd really like to know. And I want you all to put an effort into that. Thank you. Video games can be expensive. Most start at $60 with new consoles such as the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. New games are even starting at $70. There's some games you're going to keep forever, which for me are Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Zelda Breath of the Wild. Most games out there you're only going to play once and then never pick up again. I know I bought some games that are now just collecting dust on a shelf in my home. That's where GameFly comes in perfect. GameFly literally is the best video game rental service out there. You can keep the games as long as you want, and when you're done with them, just send them back, and they'll send you the next one on your queue. And if you end up loving the game, best thing you can do is buy it at the best used price possible through GameFly. Using our link in the description, get your first 2 months of GameFly for only $10. So start playing new games using the link in our description. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. When you're trying to lose some extra pounds or staying healthy, you understand how big of a deal working out is. Now, getting the most out of your workout is important to not only me, but many others out there. Are you wanting to gain muscle, lose weight, or even gain some energy to get the most out of your workout? FNX Fitness is here for you. FNX Fitness is committed to creating innovative supplements of the highest quality that provide focus for a productive morning, energy to thrive all day, performance supplements to reach new goals, unique sleep and recovery formulas to support any sport, and healthy supplements to support an active lifestyle for years to come. I also really enjoy their clothing line that makes you look good while working out as well. Another thing I love about FNX Fitness is that with every purchase, they donate a gallon of water to a child in need. Start working out smarter, not harder. By using the link in our description today, you can save 15% on your purchase. So go save 15% on some of the best supplements out there when using the link in our description. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. All right, so I didn't do a lot this week, and I didn't want to review a movie, so I'm just going to talk about the stuff I watched on TV this week. Apparently, you guys like that. So I want to talk about I watched the documentary on Netflix, the Last Blockbuster. I actually bought a Blockbuster shirt, however, did not come in time for the show. I bought it on Monday. I record the shows on Fridays, and it didn't come in time. So I'm wearing my shirt with dinosaurs on it that says the Bodacious period. I'm kind of pulling it up now for the video people. Dinosaurs looking cool, shit like that. No. So I want to talk about like the things that kind of like, I just want to talk about, because everything I watched was, I think one was before 2010. My rule is if I'm going to review a movie, it has to be released before 2010 because I don't want to be spoiling anything for anyone. So I watched the Last Blockbuster. Why am I fucking like saying words wrong today? The Last Blockbuster. It's on Netflix, which is funny because Netflix is the assumption of what ended the company, but you find out actually that it was not the case. But it didn't help. I'm telling you, it did not help. So, like the story of like Blockbuster is really interesting, or like basically any movie rental store. So, basically, when like VHS cassettes like first released, or like they started putting movies on them. Basically, a movie was to own the film. It was like maybe like $90 or something like that. Like, and so basically, you had to buy it from the studios directly for about like $90 around there. Like, so they're pretty fucking expensive. And not so like people weren't like just buying movies to keep like kind of what we do nowadays, or like, you know, people still buy movies, but not as much because it's like if I can watch it on a streaming service, then it's just easier. Like, just blow it up, and then if you don't know if you only have the DVD, it's not going to be the best picture quality. But with the streaming service, it's going to be the best picture quality. So like, you know, like movies around like $90 to rent, and so like that's basically how movie rental stores started. Like you buy a couple of the films, like, you know, $90, like you buy like 3 or 4 copies of the film, basically, and people rent it, and then you know, you basically make your money back from people renting the movie, and then there's late fees and stuff like that. You know, I feel like late fees are fine. You know, it's like they're nickel and diming, but like that's how they stay in business. You know, and Like, you're renting it for a certain amount of days, and so if you want to do a little bit more, you pay another $1. It's like a Redbox now. It's like $1 a day or something like that. Maybe a little bit more for a Blu-ray, and then it's like $1 every day you keep it, and then so. Anyways, let me get to it. So yeah, it was $90, and then I think Blockbuster made like a deal with the movie studios so they could buy the movies cheaper, but then like the movie studios got money from the movie rentals. So that's how Blockbuster was thinking ahead. That way they could have more copies of movies like available. So like a mom and pop video store. Basically they had like, so say a new movie came out. Let's go with Back to the Future. Back to the Future. They have it. Someone wants to rent it. So at best, like this mom and pop video store would have 3 copies of Back to the Future. And if it's like the release day of Back to the Future, like on VHS, people are probably going to want to come and rent it because one, they can't necessarily go to like Walmart or Target and just buy the movie. The best way would just be to rent it at a video store. They would have 3, but like Blockbuster would have maybe like 20 copies or 20 plus copies of it. Meaning that Blockbuster, everyone's going to be like, I'm just going to go to Blockbuster because I know they're going to have the movies. There's a good chance you're not going to have the movies. So that's why I'm going to go to Blockbuster. So that's kind of basically Blockbuster was able to take other businesses, the mom and pop ones out with them. I know Family Video still exists. Like I think there was one, but this was back when I went to college. It was in Warrensburg, Missouri. There was one. And then I know there was one in Lawrence, Kansas too. So I know there are at least 2 Family Videos, maybe. They had one in Kirksville when I lived there. I'm going to text my mom, see if she'll get back to me. Okay, hold on, folks. This is the fun part. I'm going to text my mom. What was the name of the video rental store that is now a Sherman-Williams in Kirksville? So we'll see if she responds back in time. She's been texting me pretty good today. But no, so basically that's how Blockbuster came to business. And obviously, let's get into I want to talk about like the downfall of Blockbuster. So it wasn't necessarily Netflix because there was a good amount of time where Netflix and Blockbuster were both fairly even, and then Blockbuster was trying to keep up. You know, they're like, okay, we're going to do like a mail-in movie service too, you know? Like, we can afford to do that. I mean, it's not that bad. It's like, oh, you can just get it in the mail. I guess it's like that. I think the biggest thing that they did, they got rid of their late fees. They're like, no more late fees at Blockbuster. And I think that was a bad decision financially because they mentioned it in the documentary. I'm acting like I'm like the expert on this situation. They had the late fees. They got rid of the late fees. And so like late fees is like a little bit of extra money to actually put everything in, you know, so that's kind of how they make extra money, you know, like the snacks and stuff like that. Because I can't necessarily think the movies themselves are making a lot of money because I assume they make a little bit like after the purchasing cost, but then movie prices went down. So like they're only having to pay like $10, $20 a movie. So, and then after that, so I mean, I would assume just after like 5 or 6 rentals or something like that, they probably make their profit back. Once movie prices gone down, they got rid of the late fees, and so yeah, they're not making money from that. So they're no longer making money from that, and then yeah, I mean, so they're no longer making money from that. So then I guess it was the 2008 stock market crash, and then Blockbuster went like bankrupt and stuff like that, and so that's what happens. So they just made a lot of bad financial services, and they could have worked with Netflix on that, but they didn't. And now Netflix is like number 1 streaming service and made the documentary. So burn on burn. So yeah, the 2008 stock market crashed. So then a lot of Blockbuster stores just kept shutting down. So I remember when I was in college, I remember they said there were like 3. So I was in college 2012, 2016. I remember they were saying there was like 3 Blockbusters in Alaska because they didn't necessarily have the best internet in Alaska. And so like movie rentals were actually very good for, you know, in the Alaskan community because of high-speed internet. And then I guess they got high-speed internet, and all the ones in Alaska closed. So the last Blockbuster that remains is in Bend, Oregon. Blockbuster is owned by Dish, by the way. So I'm surprised they didn't try to do something with that. But anyways, nevertheless. Oh, and they also have like a ton of celebrities put in. So they had like the owner of the last Blockbuster, I think the employees, and she actually seems like a good manager. And I feel like I kind of wish that when I was in high school, I could have gotten like a part-time job or in college at like a Blockbuster, because it sounds like it was a chill job. You obviously have like the customers getting annoyed with their late fees and shit like that. So obviously those are the bad sides, but like you're just basically helping people out. Like it's easy to help people out. It's like, hey, do you like this movie? Like I watched it. I didn't really like it. They're like, all right, I'm gonna rent it anyways. And then they return it like, you were right. This movie sucked ass. So I feel like that would be fun. Like, what do you recommend I watch? I'm like, okay, well, I like this movie, I like that movie. It'd be really good. And like, I like watching TV. Obviously, I talk about it on a podcast. Big comedians, and so they had like the owner, her kid, and like some of the employees, and then like they had this one random ass guy who still rents movies from Blockbuster. I don't know what that fucking guy was. Like across the railroad tracks, got the Blockbuster, and like, oh, you have a late fee. And I'm like, I'll just pay it. Shit. So Kevin Smith was in it, which obviously I feel like he's like the movie guy. Doug Benson, which he's not looking good, folks. I feel like some drug use is not really helping him. Paul Scheer, he's really cool. Sam Levine, and Ron Funches. Ron Funches is too funny for his own good. So that's really cool. So Sandy Harding, I guess is her name. She owns it. I put in my notes that they owned it. So I think, though, with the last Blockbuster, I think since it's owned by Dish, I think they should keep it open and make it like a museum. Because I think the original McDonald's, not like the California one, the Ray Kroc original McDonald's in like Chicago, I think it's now just a museum, a McDonald's museum. I think they should just make it, because this is like I think it is a piece of history with this idea with that, because movies are history. Like movies are pop culture. Movies are shit like that. I think they should just make it partially make it a museum too, which I think was it John Oliver sent them like a bunch of Russell Crowe props or whatever to the Alaska one, and then they sent it to this one. Like, leave it there too, and like just make it partially a museum. You can still rent movies there too. I mean, like that's the worst case scenario. You can still rent movies there, and you can still and it's kind of a museum as well. Like film rental you could still rent movies digitally and from Redbox and stuff like that. So making it like the Blockbuster Museum, I think would be a really good idea. So with that being said, go watch that shit. That was it was a good documentary. I'm a big fan of like a good documentary, and I hope we keep that last Blockbuster open, and worst case scenario, make it just stop movie rentals and make it a museum. Oh yeah, and she like Tuesdays is when they do new movie days. She just fucking buys the movies at Target, like now. Like, that's so weird. Like, you think like they come from like some big entity? Like, no, this last Blockbuster, she's just going to Target, buying the movies, and then checking out that shit. Like, that's all it was. So that was kind of weird, but nevertheless, he persisted. Let's get on to the second thing I watched this week. So I watched Zoey 101 because I was their age when they were the ages on the show, and I had crushes on all the women on that show. And rewatching as an adult man, you're like, I'm attracted to what they look like now, but I'm reminded of when I was a child. Like, these were like, man, I wish I want to be their boyfriend, And it's weird, like, and that's a good debate question I have with everyone here. So you watched something when you were a child because there was like an actress in it you really liked, and they were your age at the time, like of the time when it was filmed. Is it okay as an adult to reminisce on that and be like, man, I had a total crush on you back in the day? It's like, I realize why I like girls who wear jean skirts. Like, that's one thing. Anyways, though, but no, I rewatched Zoey 101. Now, I like a lot of Dan Schneider shows, and I'm aware that Dan Schneider is a shady human being, had a big foot fetish. Sorry, it's not TJ, it's Dan Schneider. But the actors in all the shows did nothing wrong, minus Drake Bell, which I'm not here to cancel Drake Bell. Someone else, some white woman's going to cancel Drake Bell, so let's let her do that. But anyways, I knew a guy who actually went to school with Drake Bell, and he's like, yeah, he's a pretty shitty person. Anyway, so none of the people in those shows did anything wrong, like iCarly, Victorious, and Sam and Cat. I think the weird shit started with iCarly and Victorious and Sam and Cat. Those are the shows where the creepy one. This one didn't have any weird feet shit, I noticed, and it's weird, but I love those shows. I even love Drake and Josh. I know I'm not supposed to like Drake Bell, but I still love the show. And also a thing I learned that, like, I always thought the show ended because Jamie Lynn Spears got pregnant, but no, they just actually ended properly, because I never remember how it ended. I did not remember how it ended, so that's why I was like, I want to remember how the show ended, so that's why I want to rewatch it. So that's a thing too. So it wasn't because of the pregnancy, because it actually had like a full arc and full end, like a proper ending to the show. So young Schweezy rewatching the show, crushing on all the women. Zoey was one, Nicole was one, Dana was one, Lola was one, Quinn was one. I fantasized about all the girls on that show, and that's a thing. But another thing, like with the show I watched, was Dustin was like Zoe's little brother. He did not have a crush on any of Zoe's friends. I have to assume. Look. Okay, I'm a younger brother to a gay man, and his lady friends. Can't say female anymore, so I don't know how to it can't say girlfriends because that means something else. Can't say lady friends because that means he's just fucking them and not doing anything. So his women friends that he is friends with were not attractive to me at all. Almost sounds like I'm saying I'm attracted to me, but no, I wasn't attracted to any of them. The kind of women who hang out with gay men. Anyways, though, so if I was Dustin, I'd be like, I'm in love with all your friends, Zoey. Shit like that. But he never did. He was always respectful and very nice to all of them. They were like, oh, you're so cute, Dustin. And they were like, oh, Dustin. And I'm like, if I was Dustin, I'd be like, I'm in love with all your friends, Zoey. That's always a plot hole I thought about. Another thing I love about this show, they had all the 2000s nostalgia, with like just all of it is like the things I absolutely love and adore now. Like, so, what was it? And then, and they rebranded it kind of to like fit the show, but like, they had like iPods. Yeah, I still have one, and I customized it 128 gigs. It's pretty cool. They had T-Mobile, like this version of like a T-Mobile Sidekick, which was really cool. That was like the phone like when I was a kid. Like we didn't even have T-Mobile in any place I lived. I think my parents have like Cellular One phone services. And I remember when I switched from like my parents' phone service to like my own in Nashville, it was like, this is, I can actually use like internet when I'm not on Wi-Fi. And that was pretty great. And like just the coolest tech, all the ones I wanted, like the white MacBooks, actually stuff I have now. As an adult, I bought, but no, like they had that Dream Tech. Like, I remember like one Christmas, I was still living in Kansas, so I was under 13, and I like really wanted a Motorola Razr, and my parents would definitely not buy me that. So they never did. I never had a Motorola Razr, and I know they're making a new one, but I'm sold on the iPhone now. So I am part of the Apple ecosystem, and that is that. Also, how did Chase not realize? No, how did Zoey not realize that Chase was in love with her? Like he like would do anything for her, and it was just so ridiculous. Like it was just like I don't know, because women like complain about men don't see like the subtle signs. I looked at you and smiled. I can't believe you didn't realize I was in love with you and wanted to marry you. I was like, yeah, that's not how that works, because women also smile at you and say, you're funny. I hope we're friends. I just can't believe Zoey was that like, and like all her friends were like, you finally fucking noticed he's in love with you. Like, can't believe you didn't realize that, Zoey. And Zoey's like, what? Chase is in love with me? What? And so that's like season 3 ends, where it's like, Zoey's like, I'm going to move to England. And then Chase is like, and then like she listens in on like a phone, like a FaceTime conversation. I don't just like Zoey. I'm in love with her. And then Zoey comes back to PCA, but Chase ends up back in England where Zoey was going to school because he had to beg. And so he had to wait an entire semester before he'd go back to PCA. And so Chase wasn't in the final season. And then like she just starts dating this fucking guy named James, who is good looking. I'm aware he's good looking, but also has like zero personality because for me, I watch TV because real life, the nerdy guy does not end up with the beautiful woman. That's why I love TV, and that's why I was raised on it, and that's why I probably have some. That's why I have a podcast right now, because that's some mental problem. But no, and then like she's just, you know, her and Chase like, I guess we're gonna have to wait for a semester until we figure this out, and then all of a sudden she starts dating this guy named James. And I just don't like the chemistry between the couple. It's just so unnatural. And then, you know, they prank Logan. Logan's a character on the show. And with Logan, though, I feel like, so Chase and Michael, they're really good friends with Logan. And then, you know, Zoey and her friend group, you know, she was friends with Chase, and then, you know, obviously they all hang out together. So they technically were really good friends. So like when they pranked Logan and did things with him, you know, it was justified. You know, like they know Logan's doing something wrong, but they still love the guy. So they're just trying to help him out and do good by him. So when James does it, James doesn't know Logan that well. And so when he's being a dick to Logan, it's unjustified. And I do not like that shit at all. And so y'all know when the finale came and they broke up, and then Chase came back, and everything was good in the world, that I was happy. Except for they released a random-ass video on the internet of like the 10 years later with Chase is with another woman, not Zoey, and he's about to propose, but Michael comes in and says what Zoey said on the DVD they left in the time capsule. So there's a lot more going on. Hopefully they do a reunion special, and Chase and Zoey get married, because that's all I fucking want in life, is for the nerdy guy to get the woman. That's all I want. That's all I want. This is why I watch movies, to get away from that shit. So that's all I have to say on Zoey 101. I also watched the movie on Netflix, 1 week away. So this is like a Christian film, necessarily. So if you really hate, I'll just keep going. I'm letting you know that. But it was co-written by my friend Kaylee Bailey, who is a phenomenally talented. I texted my parents like, you should watch this movie. They're like, we watched it last weekend. We loved it. I'm like, you know, that's my friend Kaylee. Kaylee is just phenomenal, and she's just very talented. She also maybe directed a Bellatrix Lestrange fan film. I think it's called The Dark Witch. It's basically the backstory of when Neville Longbomb's parents were tortured by Bellatrix, and it was really well done. I think I forgot that she made that, and then I watched the fan film because I'm a Harry Potter nerd, and then on like the credits is like written by Kaylee Bailey. I'm like, holy shit. She's super talented, folks. And also for me, I had like a positive experience at church camp. Like some of my best friends today I went to church camp with, and we may not agree fully on our religious beliefs, but I still love those guys. Still love everyone there. So like if we went there and you're still a good person, like hell yeah, we're still friends. I still have people like, if I ran into someone, like we're definitely gonna be good friends. So it's definitely like that. So I had a very positive church camp experience. I know a lot of people didn't, unfortunately, but I don't know. For me, it was fun for me because I did have a positive experience, and I wish. I'm saying it's positive mainly because the friends I made along the way, no joke, are what was really important to me. And like I said, some of my best friends I met at church camp, and like we're still friends today. And I make them drink alcohol a lot and smoke things and shit like that. But also speaking of it, the kids at that camp were way more talented than anyone I went to. I remember like playing guitar, like I brought my guitar, to play, and like listen to someone else like dun 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 dun. And it was awful, folks. Like these kids are super talented. Like everyone at this camp is super talented, but none of the ones at mine in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, is that talented. And they were also like the competitiveness of like their like camp was way more like we did like games and challenges against the other family group. We had family groups of mine. They had like 3 specific teams that like you come back the next year, you're on that same team again. So that was kind of a weird thing. So it was way more competitive than mine was. We had like a couple jocks, There was like a couple of me and like a couple of other guys that were just like the fat losers. We're just goofing around all the time, and that's why everyone loved us. So yeah, their group system I didn't like, but it was different from mine, so that's it. Amy Grant, Stephen Chris Chapman, two of my mom's favorite artists, who I have friends who know them, so I can assure you they're good kind. So if you have Christian parents who want to listen to contemporary Christian music, Amy Grant and Steven, it probably goes by Steven, are both very good artists and cool people in real life. So that's really cool. But anyways, go watch it on Netflix. I mean, it's on Netflix. You don't have to go to a theater or anything. You already have a Netflix subscription. Go watch it. My friend Kaylee Bailey wrote it. She also loves how her name rhymes, so don't think I'm trying to be goofy with it. But no, Kaylee Bailey wrote it. I texted her, like, love the movie. I don't think... Well, no, let me read the text I sent her. So I watched it. Let me read the text. So I wrote... Kaylee, I haven't talked to her in a while. COVID, I think. Kaylee, IDK if this is still your number. Just watched A Week Away and loved it. Thought though kids who went to my church camp were not that talented, and she said she was happy I enjoyed it. So, yeah. Anyways, it's a fun movie. It's on Netflix. I'm not requesting anyone go to like a movie theater right now. Obviously, I don't know how many are open specifically. But like it's on Netflix. It's like if you want to have a good time, go watch it on Netflix. It's a very fun movie, and Kaylee is very talented. And if you consider it a Christian movie, like a lot of Christian movies suck ass. This one's actually very good. And they have like David Kushner, I believe is his name. He's from Anchorman, the bald guy from Anchorman. They got Octavia Spencer's in the movie. I think not Colin Quinn's. His last name's Quinn. I can't remember. And I think the chick who was like the little kid in Chronicles of Narnia, I don't know. I thought it was the same. I could figure it out, but I haven't. So, but no, it's a fun movie, so you should go watch it. That's what I have watched this week in movies. So, yeah. We've been going through this pandy for over a year now, and any responsible human would groan at the idea of leaving your home. Why should you have to leave your home to buy alcohol either? That's where Drizzly comes in handy. Drizzly gets all your favorite beer, seltzer, wine, whiskey, and much more delivered directly to your home. With their easy-to-use mobile app, we are getting one step closer to never leaving our homes. It's saying something when it's being praised as the Amazon for liquor. I use Drizzly at least once and sometimes twice a week, and it's so easy that going to the liquor store is a thing of the past. So using our link in the description today, you can save $5 off your first purchase through Drizzly. Drizzly has proprietary ID verification technology that provides to its retail partners that allows drivers to scan IDs for more than a barcode to make sure the purchaser is over 21 years old in the US and of legal drinking age in Canada. Retailers on Drizzly may have a minimum order or delivery fee, so using our link in the description gets $5 off your first order with Drizzly. And remember, when you use our link, you directly support this show. I live alone, so cooking can become very sad when cooking for one. That's why I order food from local restaurants often, because I know they're struggling and I know I don't have to cook when I'm feeling depressed. That's why I absolutely love DoorDash, because they have been my food savior during this pandy. If you don't know of DoorDash, they bring you food you crave directly to your door. With over 300,000 partners in the US, Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia, you can support your local favorites and your favorite national chains such as Chipotle, Wendy's, and even the Cheesecake Factory. Your favorite restaurant is still open for delivery. Download the DoorDash app from the link in our description. It's all contactless delivery to keep my community and yours safe. Get $10 off each of your first 3 DoorDash orders over $15 when you sign up using the link in the description. Treat yourself like the king and queen you are and order from DoorDash today. Again, that's $10 off your first 3 orders over $15 when you use the link in our description. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. All right, so it's time for me to give you all relationship advice, because a lot of people have problems with their relationships. I don't have a problem with mine. I am not seeing anyone right now. So if you want me to solve your relationship problems, you can always email the shwedcast@gmail.com. I'm more than happy to help you with any problem you have whatsoever, no matter who it's with or what you're doing, wherever. I don't fucking know. Let's just get into it, folks. I'm gonna guide you to a treasure I cannot possess. I had sex with a friend, and now I think the friendship is over or ruined. All right. We've been friends for almost 3 years and never saw each other as romantic interests, but we were close. When we met, I was with my ex, who also became a close friend of his, to the extent that when we broke up just over 2 months ago, he tried to get us back together. 2 weeks ago, we were day drinking, as we usually did when my ex was around, but because of COVID, my country has set up a 6 p.m. daily curfew. I invited him back to my place to keep the night going on. We were really drunk, and I don't remember quite right, but I think he made the first move. Anyways, I think we both enjoyed the moment, but we've never talked about it ever since, and even pretended nothing happened the day after. But now he's been leaving me on red every time I text him, and I feel bad about myself. I don't know what to think about it, and I know how to save our friendship. I thought it through, and I'm really not interested in something else. Only thing I can really suggest for you to do in this situation, you're definitely gonna have to force a conversation about the topic. Apparently, if you think something's weird about it, he probably also thinks something's weird about it. What I can say, you're gonna have to get somewhere in a situation where you can force the conversation without the other party leaving the situation. It's it's the only thing I can really say. That's the best idea, to be honest with you. People are fucking texting me. Because there's obviously an elephant in the room, and once you talk about the elephant in the room, you could probably just figure out the situation. Hopefully no one's gotten feelings. Someone's gotten feelings. You're gonna have to lay low for a minute, I guess, and be like, hey, I don't like you like that. I don't want to do it, but I had fun having sex with you. But you're also gonna have to talk you have a really big penis too, because just you do have a really great penis, even if you don't think so. Just say the penis is great, but say I don't want a relationship with you. I think that's gonna be the best way. He's like, oh, my penis is great. You know what? Oh, you don't want a relationship with me, but my penis is really great. Actually, that's the best idea. Say his penis is really great, but then also say, I'm not interested in having a relationship with you. So hopefully we can just stay friends and keep that a fun memory for both of us. So. That's the way I'm not going to try. I don't think I can hit the notes. I had a couple glasses of wine, folks. You know what the fuck goes on here at the Airbud studio. Just tell him he has a great dick and tell him you don't want a relationship. And things should be fine. He'll still be fine with you. I guarantee you he'll be fine with you. My ex who cheated on me is reaching out to me for help because the guy she has been with was cheating on her. She is saying she is suicidal, so to just not reply seems like the wrong thing to do. However, what do I say? She mentioned the aspect of karma doing this, and it's well, maybe, but I'm not going to tell you that. Anyways, reaching out to anyone who is around her is pointless, and I don't want her to die, but I don't want to let her even remotely into my life again. What should I do? What amount of space should I keep? There's no way I would ever see her again. What amount of space should I keep? There's no way I want to see her again, but even text messages can be draining. Buddy, the only thing I can really say is you're not in charge of her mental health. And there's a thing with I'm going to be a little generic here, but at the same time, we're all human. You're not in charge of her mental health. She's suicidal over a relationship. She may have more problems, and I can't necessarily guarantee she's actually going to go through with it. I could be wrong. Everyone's different. Anyways, you're not in charge of her mental health. Typically in this situation, she would say, I can't live without you. If someone says, I can't live without you, then I would respond with, then die. But I don't think that's the appropriate response in this situation. Tell her, look, I'm sorry he cheated on you. Only thing I can really do, you cheated on me, so I guess you kind of understand how it feels. Maybe you don't do that shit anymore because that shit is stupid and fucking awful. So I'm not interested at all in having you back in my life. Be gone, thought. I guess that's all I can really say. No, best best keep her out of your life still. Just be like, look, sorry it happened to you, but you did that to me. Now you know how I feel. And please stop texting me. I don't want to be around you anymore because you're a bitch. And apparently I hate women on this podcast, but this is an actual bitch. She cheated on him, and then the guy she cheated on him with cheated on her. So that's just karma. So she was a bitch to begin with. So folks, don't say I hate women. I don't hate women. I'm just trying to fucking help people. Anyways, no, I think she got what she deserved. Her mental health is not your problem, but do not tell her to die. Do not tell her to die. Do not do my following. I can't live without you. And then I would say, you then die. Don't do that. That's not a good idea in this situation. Just be like, you know what? Now you kind of understand how I feel. I still don't want you in my life, so fuck off. Here we go. All right. That's all I have to say on that. Let's get to another one. Husband and I haven't had sex in a year. All right. My husband and I have had a really strong year mentally. We've both been very depressed, experiencing waves of anxiety. I'm starting therapy next month, and he has also sought help, so I have hope that we can maybe return to normal someday soon. Our marriage is strong despite all of this. We have been married 5 years, together 10 in total. We are best friends. We want the same things from life and have no desire to separate or divorce. We rarely argue and we support each other fully. We are very happy together. It probably helps that we both had lower sex drives to begin with and only had sex maybe a couple times a month. Sex for us wasn't the most important thing, but we had at one time acknowledged that we should probably try to have more. I'll add that we haven't been sexual whatsoever in the past year. This includes making out / oral. I plan on bringing this up in therapy, but I also know I should maybe bring this up with my husband sooner than later. I feel like it's been too long to just randomly initiate sex without having a discussion first. I have no idea how to even initiate this kind of discussion. I don't want him to feel bad. This was a two-way street, and I'm just as responsible for this as he is. I also don't want him to feel pressured, but I feel like something needs to be said, and I don't know how. Just wanted to get some opinions on here before bringing it up in therapy. All right, so I'm here to help you with the problem. So my suggestion for you to actually solve this problem, a very simple idea. What I think you should do is you might need to watch a couple porns and just see what's out there, and then reenacting that with him, because he will get turned on and do that. But also, I mean, man, I can't imagine, like, I have a pretty high sex drive, but I'm also taking antidepressants, like heavy ones, so it's lower to probably normal levels. And it's like, if you're masturbating every day, you're just fucking bored. Right now, it's like boredom masturbation or something like that. That's like a weird thing. So I can't understand how, like, your sex drives are the same, and then you're like, yeah, we haven't gone a year without sex. And, like, you're a little upset about it, but he doesn't really care. That's just so weird to me. Do a little role playing. You know what? Like, after so many years, I can't imagine people are like, I don't want to have sex with the same person every day. Like, do a little role playing. That's fun. That's fun. And then you got to tell the stories to friends, and it's more fun. Like, I don't see the problem in that situation. Like, that's a situation I think a lot of people would enjoy being in. And have you ever just be like, you don't know how to initiate yourself? Honestly, just start sucking his dick. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're like, I don't know how to initiate sex with my husband. Just start sucking his dick, and it'll happen. Trust me, it'll happen. If it's not, he might, I don't want to say this for sure, he might be gay. But I don't know you in real life, so I couldn't determine. If I met him in real life, I could be like, that guy's gay. But I can't get that for you from just words on the internet. So, only thing I can suggest you do, you can initiate sex, just start sucking his dick, and then he's going to want to put it in other holes. So, stay with that. And if you think I hate women after that, like, if a woman just decides to start sucking a dick, you marry that bitch. That's what you do. So just start sucking that guy's dick, and you should be fine. That's all you need to do. I'm the king. I'm the foreplay king, and I can tell you, male foreplay is just a blowjob. That's all you need to do. for a man. That's all you need to do for male foreplay. So that's the way it is. I'm gonna get more wine because fuck this shit. I don't know how I'm getting through looking this. Like, how do I initiate sex with my boyfriend? Like, have you tried sucking his dick? I don't know. God damn. So, I'm almost out of wine in this box. So, we'll see how that goes. Let's watch me chug the whole thing on camera, folks. Whew. There we go. Here we go. A friend seems bothered people assume we're together. All right, here we go. I'm 24 and I'm really close with my male friend who is 26. We spend the majority of our time together, tend to go almost everywhere together, and are constantly attached at the hip. Because of this, people tend to assume we're together. I correct people when I find it worthwhile. If there's someone I'll never see again, I put in little effort. For example, we met this guy at a park and we saw him 2 times and talked because our dogs wanted to play. The second time he was with someone and said, this is X and her boyfriend Y. It was loud and I didn't bother interrupting to yell, and we weren't dating because ... Why? There's some people I'll correct a few times and after that I just sort of give up. It isn't worth my energy if they won't listen. He brought up tonight that people assume we're married and I never correct them, which isn't true, but he seemed a little frustrated. I said it didn't seem too big to me and explained that some people just choose not to listen. I am an anxious person, so I've been thinking about how this seems to upset him for a few hours. Do I address it to him and about it making him uncomfortable? So I apologize. Just fucking date this guy. I don't know. You like being around this. I don't get people like this. I just don't. I don't get people like this. Like, I have a really close male friend. We spend all the time together, and I absolutely love being around him. Like, how are you not fucking in love with each other? For fuck's sake, I don't fucking get this. This is like my dream come true for this to happen. And you're both fucking single, and you're just not doing anything about it. Like, come on. Are you none of you in love with each other? How does this fucking work? I don't get it. Just be in love. Like, this is like my dream come true. Like, everything you just like described to me is my dream come true. Minus the, like, we're not dating. Like, no, like, we're dating. And we're in fucking love with each other. And we're best friends. And this is like, that's like the perfect situation to be in. And people are like, I don't get it. I don't get why people think we're dating. Just shut the fuck up. Like, this is a dream come true for me. And you're acting like this is a burden for you. This is a burden for you that someone like your best friend, you're in love with you and your best friend could be soulmates. Like, shut the fuck up. God damn it. Like, why just fucking date each other and marry each other? Like, this is like you're in the perfect situation. People dream for a situation like this. People dream to find a soulmate like you two, and you just waste it. To quote the movie, was it It's a Wonderful Life? It was like, love is wasted on the youth, or whatever that guy said. Like, come on, like, you write this out and you do not see, like, how perfect you are for each other. Like, I don't understand people like this. It just frustrates me. It's like, because I don't have it, and that's what I want. And it's like, it's like, and I want it, and you, fuck you. Folks, it's been a long pandemic, folks. It's been a long fucking pandemic. This next question. Why did he tell me he was virgin? We had sex for the first time a few months ago. He told me he was a virgin. He also said when he touched me down there, I've never touched one of these before. And he said he didn't know how to go down on me because he didn't know what to do. What's weird is I saw in a live stream 2 years ago before we met, he commented and said, eating my girl's ass makes me happy. He kept telling me he was a virgin. I don't know why he would lie at this age. Most guys would lie and say they're not when they are. When he acted embarrassed, when he told me he was a virgin, he told me people online he wasn't. He knew I wasn't, so I don't know why he would lie. I'm almost 2 years older than him, so I'm confused. I also feel kind of gross because I kissed him, and the thought of him gave someone a rim job makes me feel kind of sick. I know that sounds immature, but that's just how it makes me feel. Why would he lie? So I'm like thinking about this situation. So there's two trains of thought that go through my head. So there's the one train of thought that he actually is a virgin and is talking up to his friends that like, I'm gonna eat this girl's ass and shit like that, and he's done all this crazy shit. Other side of him is like, oh, I'm a virgin and I was talking about that to just look cool. That's the thing though. So there's the red flag there when you talk about that, because, you know, so there's either he lied to you that he was a virgin when he was not, and I guess like you don't know if he's cleaned his lips since or lips or tongue since he's eaten ass. You know what I'm saying? And then there's the other side of you is like, why was he lying to his friends or people online that he loved eating ass or shit like that? I'm gonna make a good guess here with this situation. From what it sounds like on my end, I actually think he was a virgin and didn't know he was doing, and he was just trying to talk up to his friends about what he was doing. That's the guess I'm gonna make, because I feel like that's the proper situation that went on. I feel like he actually is a virgin and he was talking up to his friends and trying to look impressive. So, yeah, but also he's a red flag because he has a big lying tendency. So, in the situation I'm going with, like, yeah, you should probably disassociate with this guy. And then he's probably going to be obsessed with you because I think he is a virgin. He was a virgin until he met you, and then things changed. So just remember that. He's probably a pathological liar and has a lot more problems, so stay away from him. So there we go. I didn't bash on the woman. I bashed on the man. So stop saying I hate women, people. I'm a simp. I am not a fucking incel. Shut the fuck up with that shit. I feel like I don't deserve my girlfriend. Okay. I've been there. I've been with my girlfriend for almost a year now, and our relationship helps me a lot and makes me so happy. She's always there for me, and I try to always be there for her as well. I love her so much, and I wish her all the best. I want to make her happy. That's why I think maybe I should leave her. My life is kind of a mess and struggle so far. I live in a small apartment with my family. By the way, we are both 16, almost 17 years old. My family is really poor, while her family is rich. Both my mother and father are alcoholics and heavy smokers. They always yell at me for no reason, call me stupid and useless. My self-esteem is really low due to that. They always make me get them what they want, and sometimes I feel like they hate me. That's been going on for years now, and it really made me feel like I am worthless. But her family is the complete opposite. They're caring and loving and worried about their child. I've told her everything about my family and our situation, but she told me that she doesn't mind at all, but I do. I'm constantly thinking that she would be happier with someone else. I think I'm just slowing her down. Honestly, I can't even talk to her without making it awkward. I struggle to speak. I'm really clumsy with words. I try my best to be there for her always, no matter what, but a lot of times I find myself not knowing what to say. I'm just a complete mess, but I love her so much. Everything about her, I really do. I've never loved someone or something this much ever before. As I said, I really want to see her happy, smiling, and with no much stress. Maybe being with me would just bring her problem and stress after some time, so that's why I'm thinking about leaving her. Maybe she finds someone much better than I am. I would like to see your thoughts on this. Thank you. All right, we're gonna get positive on this fucking show real quick. Buddy, my first thoughts about reading this fucking thing, don't let her know that she's too good for you. If she learns that, it's over. Do not let her know that at all. First of all, I want to say, I'm gonna try to go by all your points here. Your parents fucking suck. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not an alcoholic, but at the same time, I'm a friendly guy. At least when I drink. Your parents trying to put you down. Your parents are fucking shit, dude. No offense, but you don't get to choose your parents. You get to choose how you move forward from there. But yeah, it sounds like your parents are just fucking shit. But like her parents are great. If her parents, I'm just telling you, in a situation where her parents are great, you're gonna have to. You need to marry this chick. I'm telling you right now, you need to marry this bitch. Apparently, I'm not supposed to say bitch anymore. You need to marry this chick. She sounds like she's good. So don't fucking let her know that she's too good for you. Because she realized that you don't want her to realize that shit. The idea that she's constantly happier with someone else. She's probably not. She chose you still, buddy. She probably is very happy with you. And you need to... One thing I've kind of learned, I'm trying to learn, there's a voice in your head that says you're not good enough, you suck, and shit like that, and you're fat, you're fucking useless. You need to grow another voice in your head that tells that voice to shut the fuck up. And once you learn that voice, it's very intense. It's like, oh man, look at me in the mirror, I'm so fucking fat. Oh man, I can't believe I ate another pizza today. Other voice comes in your head, shut the fuck up. And then that voice shuts the fuck up. And that's a great way to live life. I've been telling people that for a while. You need to develop a voice in your head that tells the negative voice in your head to shut the fuck up. And then you're then you think slowing her down. You're just making things awkward. That's probably why she likes you. You're clumsy and shit like that. That's an attractive quality. I have it, but I don't think it's attractive the way I do it. Also, I see posts there's the not all men, but if I'm walking on the street, if a woman's alone and I'm alone and we're walking, the women can't trust that I'm not going to attack her. Situation, that's why I like the not all men, which I'm very much pro for. But at the same time, it's I don't think any woman's ever seen me as a threat ever for any reason. That's just me. But no, buddy, it looks like you're just good enough for this woman. So don't let her know that you're not good enough for her, because she won't like that. Realize you're fine just the way you are, buddy, and keep moving forward. And hopefully, I know you're both 16, almost 17, but I kind of want you both to get married, because it sounds like you love her family. And that's your new dad, that's your new mom. Because I know in situations where one couple has a shitty family and the other one has a normal family with their normal problems, every family has. And I just kind of want that to work out. And you know what, you're real parents to me. Your spouse's parents are real parents to you. And that's what I hope for people like that. That's all I want to say, buddy. Stop talking shit about yourself. That little voice in your head that tells you you're worthless, gain the other voice in your head that tells that voice in your head to shut the fuck up. That's how I want to help everyone's mental health. Next one here. Thoughts on women who are on the dry side. I can only hope that all men are okay with this and happy to reach for the lube, but I want to see some true and honest responses go. Okay. So I treat this as the same I want to treat erection problems, you just can't, there's a lot of biological things involved. So I take a lot of antidepressants. So a lot of times for me, getting it up can have some difficulties and some issues. So I understand on that end. If we treat women like that, when they're dry, we're going to treat it the same way. Sometimes with birth control, I believe sometimes can make women dry and shit like that. Just if there's a medical issue that's happening, you just, you got to accept that. I think with erectile dysfunction or whatever it's called, we got to accept that that's going to be a thing. You can't expect everything to work properly all the time. And I think we have to be the same with women. You can't expect her to be wet all the time. Get some lube and have some fun and shit like that. Lube's fun, It makes things a little bit easier. And a quote I've heard many times, you can never have enough lube. And that's very responsible. So we should not shame women who are very dry unless, especially when it's a medical thing. I take antidepressants, so that makes me not as hard as doesn't make me my sex drive hard all the time, but I can still get going. But women at the same time, we can't expect women to be the same capacity. So, we got lube for women and then random ass pills for men. So we should stop shaming women who are dry unless they're like, oh, this is making me really dry right now. Shit like that, like sometimes it's birth control. Like we talk about that. If it's birth control that's making you dry, it's like, that's a plus in my mind. Let's just like, hey, I'm on birth control, so I have a hard time getting, we need to get some lube, shit like that. I'm like, all right, that works for me, because you get a raw dog or if you're in a good situation. That's all I have to say. So, nevertheless, he persisted. So we need to stop shaming like erectile dysfunction and dry women. They're both the same thing, and we should learn to live life 365 or whatever they say. All right, no, we're getting near the end of this episode. I think it's gonna be shorter than most of them, but nevertheless, I will persist. Though, if you're a dry woman, just explain why you're dry to the man, and he probably won't care, to be honest with you. That's the thing. Last question I have a fetish and in constant fear that my parents might find out about it. So as the title says, I have a fetish. Now, I won't say what kind of fetish it is. All I'm saying is that I'm 14 and I'm afraid that my parents will find out. Like, IDK, why? But I'm afraid they will disown me or something if they find out. I know it sounds dumb. One time I even told my sister about it, and she kind of forces me to do stuff for her, and she'll tell our parents. Like, now I'm saying that I love my family and they're super nice, but every time they call me, I get all nervous and scared for that they somehow found out about my fetish. Okay, this is for every fetish out there. And I want to just make this like a public presentation to all fetishes. Your fetishes need to stay private. Like, I don't need to know what the hell your fetish is. Like, I don't need to know if you're like my friend TJ and you're into feet, or if you're into like bondage and shit like that. I don't need to know that. You don't need to be fucking public about your fetishes like some people are with their sexuality. Like, I think a lot of sexuality's ideas, it's okay to be out about that. Like, well, you're like, you know what? I'm a man and I'm into a man. I'm like, that's fine. That's a fine thing to be looked at. That's not necessarily a fetish. It's like a sexual preference. Like, I'm into men. A fetish is so different. Like, I'm into feet. We don't need to know that you're into feet. I'm into putt play or horse play. Like, we don't need to know that shit. No one needs to know that shit. Why have we like tried to make a culture where like your fetish needs to be known? Your fetish does not need to be known. Your fetish should stay with you. I don't know why the fuck we've like tried to make the society is like, you know what? I'm in love with a roller coaster. You know what? I like feet. I like it when a girl wears a dog mask and I fuck her. I'm like, why do I need to know that? Why do I, someone you're not going to have sex with, need to know that situation? I don't need to know that situation. You shouldn't be telling me that fucking information. I'm not having sex with you. Therefore, I shouldn't need to know what gets you off sexually. It's fucking stupid. I don't know why people think this idea that I want the world to know what I need to do to come. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know what you need to come. The only thing I need to know is your preference. Like, do you like guys? Do you like women? Do you like the non-binaries in between? What the fuck is that? I don't need to know, like, I need to be jerked off with someone else's feet to get up. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know that fucking shit. I don't know why people think I need to know that. Your fetish needs to stay with you, and that's a private conversation between you and your partner. You do not need to be spreading that to your parents, your friends, your family, your siblings. I don't fucking care. I don't know why people think that your fetish needs to be known to the entire world. I don't get it. I don't know why people think they need to know that. I know it's probably the fake fucking woke, the group I hate more than anything, except for like actual racists. I fucking hate those people. But we don't need to know what your fucking fetish is. I don't want to know your fucking fetish. No one wants to know your fucking fetish. The only person who wants to know your fucking fetish is the person you're wanting to fuck. That's all you need to know about it. Stop making your fucking fetish your personal identity. I can't express enough. I don't want to know about it. Fuck. Okay, people. I don't want to know about your fetish. Okay? Okay? So do not fucking tell me your fetish. That is now and forever. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was a fucking big rant. But anyways, now Thank you for listening to this episode of Cancel Schweezy. Questions, comments, or concerns, you can always email the shwedcast@gmail.com. I will be more than happy to answer that on the show or anywhere else. Music is the Schweezy everywhere. Wherever you listen to music on, just look up Schweezy. You'll find me. You can find me on socials at the 4Play King or my main account, that's not TikTok, at the Schweezy. And, Twitch, you got your like, you got your follow button, you got your subscribe. Don't give Jeff Bezos an extra $5. And if you want to get ad-free episodes, the Patreon is the best place for you to go. So, I want to end the episode the right way. Honk if you love butt drugs. And, like always, stay awesome.
Hashtag pray for Micah.
Hey there, my fellow Schwoklord. Thank you so much for finishing that episode. It means a lot to me. If you want to support the show even further, check us out on Patreon, where you can get ad-free episodes of all my shows. Once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and stay awesome.